Hi everyone. It is Sunday. I have to clean my screen. And that's better. That's better. I am getting ready. I'm just doing a very simple sort of, oh, I didn't even fix my hair. I'm just doing like a very simple sort of glam. Hi Beth. Hi Tara. We have to get our taxes done today, which is never my favorite day because we always end up having to pay. So, like a lot of people, I do not look forward to tax day. But the kids wanted donuts for breakfast today, so I made them. I also wasn't impressed with them either. I'm just going to leave all of the donut making to the professionals from this point forward. Hi, Kristen. I'm going to start with some primer while I just comb out my rat's nest. So this is Touch Glorious Primer, and I just put like a pea-sized amount on my fingers and press it into my skin. The only thing I have on my skin so far is I washed my face this morning and I put my day cream and rose water on. So I'm just going to do a very quick, very simple, natural looking glam. I'm going to do a very simple eye and a very simple lip. I think I'm just going to actually use lip gloss today and liner. And so I'm going to use a brighter blush to kind of bring out the pink in my shirt. I'm also living for pink these days. I don't know what it is. I was never a pink person before, but something's changed and I like the pink now. So yeah, I made donuts this morning for breakfast and they took an ungodly amount of time. Like the yeast donuts that I made took, you had to make the dough and then you had to let the dough rest for, if you didn't proof it in your oven, you had to let it rest for like 8 hours on the counter. So I kind of cheated it and put it in a warm oven with a damp rag to have it rise. And then after you rolled it out, you had to cut the donuts and then let the donuts rise for 45 minutes before you could cook them. So needless to say, I don't have time for that. It was a really valiant effort on my part, but I'm going to stick with my egg white omelets on Sunday mornings, honestly. I'm feeling like 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound bag, so we don't need that extraness. I'm going to do a Liquid Touch foundation this morning. This is in the shade Eyelet. And this is just like a one-step full coverage. You just want to blend it because it's a mineral base. So you definitely want to go in and make sure everything is well blended together because it does separate because it's a natural product. So I'm just going to go in and dot it on my face where I'm going to want it to be pressed in. Hi, Lauren. How is your back today? So I'm kind of skipping the BB cream step today because I exfoliated last night and I did my Uplift Beauty Serum. And so my skin is feeling really well moisturized today. Okay, so all of my Eyelet liquid foundation is where I want it to be. And now I'm just going to go in with a damp beauty blender and use the round side to press it into my skin. You can also use the powder concealer brush to do this. I prefer this over the Unique foundation brush for some reason, and I think it's because it's a double duty brush and it has 2 sides on it. But I'm just pressing. And the reason that you press this as opposed to like smearing it and wiping it, it's going to saturate in your skin a lot better this way. All right. And I'm just going to sort of blend this down my neck a little bit so that there's a good connection there. Okay. Foundation is on. So the next step is concealer. This is Scarlett Skin Perfecting Concealer. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. Like so, just a little dot. And then I use a Splurge cream shadow brush to put it on so that it goes on a little bit lighter and thinner. Having too much product on your face, especially in your under eye area, is going to work against you. Okay, and I just kind of blend it up the sides of my nose. And under my nose. Down my nose. Onto my forehead. My chin. And on the sides of my jaw. Okay. So everywhere that I highlighted, these are the areas that are going to stand out on my face a little bit better. And then we're going to use powder to contour and sort of make our jawbone and things like that sort of disappear and be more pronounced in some areas. It's all about shadows and how they work on your face. Okay, so I'm going to take the flat side of my blender and just press it in, and it's just going to blend into the edges of my foundation, but it'll still be nice and bright where the concealer is. Pressing, pressing. Now the reason that you want to go really lightly is this is the thinnest skin on your whole face, which is why you're going to notice, it might even be your whole body, which is why you're going to notice fine lines and wrinkles there even more. But when you put something heavy like concealer on it, you're going to see the creases in those be a lot more pronounced. So the more product that you put on those areas to build coverage, the more you're going to notice them. So that's why we only need to put a little bit of concealer on especially our under eyes, because this stuff is really great coverage, so you don't need tons of it, unlike other products. Okay, so now Touch Behold setting powder is what we're going to use to set our concealer. And I use a brush so that it goes on even lighter, and I tap all of the excess product off. And I just very lightly dust it on my face in the areas that my concealer is. Hi Tara, good morning. All right. So the reason that we use a setting powder is that oil and moisture and things like that, environmental factors, humidity, are going to wreak havoc on your makeup throughout the day if you don't set it properly. So you want to set all of your cream and liquid products with a powder like this so that it doesn't move or shift throughout the day and it stays nice and fresh and bright on your face. Now we're going to set the rest of our face with a Crepe pressed powder foundation, and I'm going to use my powder concealer brush to do this. Let's see what comments. Okay. So I'm just dusting this in the areas that I did not conceal and that don't have powder on them already. And this is going to set the rest of that liquid foundation and give me a really pretty airbrushed finish. All right. So now pressed powder foundation in the shade Gingham is what I'm going to use to contour my face. And I love how soft this is, like easily blended. Our pressed powder is honestly like blendable velvet. It's amazing. But it just helps you see your cheekbones so much better, and it warms up the sides of your face. On your jaw. So we're good with contour. But what a difference that makes in bringing like life back into your face, as well as like chiseling out your features. Huge difference. Okay. So now we're going to go in with my favorite Obnoxious blush. Hi, Sarah. This is stunning. Because I'm doing a simple eye and a simple lip, I want to do a little bit of a brighter blush so that it shows up on my face a little bit better. So this is stunning, and it's a bright pink blush, but I'm going to show you how to use it so that it doesn't look quite as loud as you might think it would look when you put it on your face. So you're just going to take your standard issue angled blusher brush and apply a little bit at a time. The worst thing that you can do is go in hot and then decide you don't like it. So I kind of just go in a little bit at a time and build the coverage and the pigment. So you can see that it's got a great color to it without being as crazy as you thought. So I'm going to take a big fluffy blush brush. This has nothing on it. And I'm just going to run it over my face like this to blend everything together. And what that does is it just like mellows out your face, so you have just a really natural appearance because everything is going to be super well blended. You can always apply more if you feel like you need it, but I feel like the best thing for me to do is go ahead and do my whole face and then touch up if I feel like I don't have enough pigment in certain places. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go over to our eye look. So I'm going to take some bronzer. This is Beachfront Bronzer in the shade Hermosa, and I'm going to use this as the basis for my eye look. And I just kind of blend that with the powder concealer brush in the concealer end, and I blend that sort of into my crease. And I just like the warmth and the subtleness that it gives your eye. Then I don't know that I'm a bronzer holic. I love bronzer because it just gives your skin like a really healthy glow. I've also had this bronzer for over a year and I use it constantly and I'm not out. So that should show you how great these products are in terms of longevity. You get your money's worth. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with eyeshadow in the shade Marvelous and our fluffy crease brush. And I'm just going to put this Marvelous, which is just the prettiest chocolate brown. I'm going to put this in the crease of my eye only. Just for like a little bit of subtle definition. To make that bronzer pop even more. You see that? It's just very simple. It doesn't even really add a color, more like a shadow. Repeat that in here. And then I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and just buff out the edges of this because I want a very natural look today. All right. And then we're going to finish that. This is called Covetous. It's just the prettiest champagne shimmer. And I'm just going to go and put a little of this right on the inside corners of my eye. This is one of our new metallic nudes. But it really opens up your eye and just like makes it really bright without adding color. It just adds a little shimmer. All right. Epic mascara. 2 coats of Epic. This is the original Epic in black. We also have it in waterproof and in brown. And I always apply a generous coat on each lash, starting from the root all the way to the tip. And then I go in and do a secondary coat. And that really lengthens and separates and makes my lashes look really thick and long. The first coat is sort of like a primer coat. And then I use whatever is left over on my wand to do my lower lashes because they are little baby blondies. And you can't see them otherwise. Okay. And so I'm going to do a second coat of Epic. This is the coat that's going to really put it over the top and lengthen and separate everybody. So I know everyone has a different method of applying mascara. I think that some PhD student should do a study on mascara application and personality type, honestly, because that would be fascinating. I'm personally the kind that stares in the mirror with your mouth gaped open. But with your mascara, you just kind of want to, especially on the second coat, go in and grab the root and wiggle it back and forth until you get to the tip. And that is going to separate everything. And then your second coat of mascara is really just going to bind to the first coat. And your lashes are going to look like falsies. And then I take whatever is left over on my wand and put it on my lower lashes. Like so. Okay, my favorite time of day, brow time. Brow Obsession palette in the shade Brunette. and the Brow Artist brush. We're going to go in and just quickly do our brows. So I draw in the bottom line of my brows, and then I draw in the top line. And what this helps me do is just determine the exact right size and shape of my brow. And it sort of gives me the parameters that I want to be in when I continue to fill them in. And then I start to fill in from the arch, because the arch is naturally your darkest, thickest part. I fill in from the arch down to the tail, and then I use whatever is left over on my brush, and I slowly fade from the front to the back, because the beginning of your brow, this area right here, should be the most soft and very light, because that is how your brows naturally grow in. All right, number 2. Okay. When I do the lines, like the top and the bottom like I'm doing right now, I mix this pomade with the dark brown powder, and that is how I get sort of that creamy texture that goes on really nicely. Okay. And then fade it back. And make sure everybody is well blended and looks alike. That's also an important factor. Okay. Beautiful. So I'm just going to go and kind of tickle this around. Fade everything in. Now I have concealer left over on my hand from when I did my face, so I'm just going to go in and put a pretty matte highlight on my brow bone, and it's also going to perfect my brows. Like this. But you can see how it just chisels out that brow area even more. Okay. That's like an airbrush brow look. So then I just take that plain brush that I use to do my translucent setting powder, and I just make sure that everything is really nicely well blended. Okay. So Touch a la Mode powder highlighter. This is in the shade Benevolent. It's a really pretty like pearly gold, and I'm just gonna go and dust this on the apples of my cheeks and right on my brow bone, and this blends my blush in really nicely and gives me that like really pretty glow, like I've been well rested, which is a lie because I'm not. And I go over my brow arch and down my nose, and then my Cupid's bow. Okay. So let's do some very pretty, super simple natural lip. All right, so this is one of my favorite liners. This is Pouty. And then this is Lippy Lip Gloss. I'm gonna need to sharpen Pouty. It's like sharpen your weekend. All right, so Pouty lip liner. Mina. All right, Pouty lip liner, and then Lippy lip gloss. You scare them away, Mimi? Okay. This is one of my favorite everyday sort of put together lip combos. I know a lot of people are not lipstick people. But they can get down with a gloss. And I'm actually add a little prim eyeliner. Just because I can. I like the way it stands out, especially when you apply it at the end. It blends really nicely without giving you a really brown look. It just deepens the color. I think I'm going to use a little bit more blush because I kind of blended it all out. And I do want to see my blush because everything else is very neutral. So again, this is Stunning blusher. That's why it's important to take a look at your makeup just like when you're done and make sure that you like everything, because you can always make nice little edits before you're, quote, finished. All right, and then we're just gonna clean up this area a little bit with a little of the Touch Behold setting powder. And this is just gonna brighten that area up so that my contour looks perfect. So I'm just taking the flat side and you can already see how like cleaning that up makes my bronzer pop that much better. So doing this is just going to clean up the underside of my contour so that it looks perfect. And you can also go in and clean up if you went like a little crazy with your eyeshadow or something, you just want to like cut it a little bit. You can cut the crease back in by pressing like this. And it's just going to brighten everything up. And then you just go in and gently dust it off. Like so. And you're done. Done, done, done. So that is our very simple Sunday Glam. I hope that you loved it. It's one of my favorite looks because I can do it really fast if I'm not talking and explaining what I'm doing. But this lip combo especially is super flattering on everybody. And then honestly, my eyes are mostly contour. And then I still have a ton of concealer left over on the back of my hand just to show you how little concealer is needed when you're using a good product. One of these puppies lasts me 6 months. And you can see, like in comparison to my hand, it's not huge. I used to use concealers that were more like this size, and I was getting one every 4 to 6 weeks. So because this stuff is super powerful, you do not need to over apply it. Just do a little bit at a time, like I showed you how I do mine. I use a Splurge cream shadow brush to apply it so that I don't get too much on. So that is honestly like one of my favorite products. I don't know how I ever live without it. Start editing and then it's a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to set my makeup with Touch Behold setting powder spray, setting spray. And that's going to lock my makeup in for all day and it won't go anywhere. Now I actually have to wipe my concealer off, all my excess. I hate wasting product. So sad. So anyway, that is how you do simple glam, my friends. And now I'm going to comb out my rat's nest and go have my taxes done. Hopefully everything came in. There's nothing worse than getting to the accountant and him saying, where is your school taxes? Where are your house taxes? Your property taxes? You know, all that good stuff. If you guys have any questions about the products that I used or want to be color matched for foundation or blush or lipstick or anything like that, just shoot me a message and then I can reply right back to you. We can build you a palette of anything that you need, or I can show you our custom palettes. I want to say in March we're coming out with new collections. Our collection sets are really great because they all come at a discount. So a lot of times you can get like a primer, a foundation, a bronzer, a luminizer, and a setting product, either setting spray or setting powder, for like $135, which is basically everything that you need for a flawless face. You would just add on concealer and blush and like a lip product and you're out the door for $160. So if you are thinking of revamping your makeup for spring, which is something that I suggest all people do, definitely shoot me a message and we'll get you a great deal. Everything has a love it guarantee. So if you don't like it, you can send it back for either a full refund or for a product reselection, because we stand behind everything that we sell. So with that, Mama's going to go pay her taxes. So I love you guys. I might be on tomorrow morning. My very lovely boss is taking all of us girls in the office for a spa day. And we usually use this as like a Christmas sort of get together every year, but Christmas was just crazy and January was even more crazy. So we're doing it tomorrow at Spa Mirabeau. So we're getting together and we're doing yoga and lunch and drinks and spa services all afternoon. So I can't wait. This might be my favorite day of the year. I could totally use this day of relaxation because I haven't had one in many moons. So if I am feeling rested, I'm going to get up early and hop on before I head down there. So I love you guys. Have a beautiful Sunday and I will see you possibly tomorrow.